Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Shani. I am your host and the creator of this YouTube channel, Dr. Shani Collins Woods, and today I am joined by my beautiful Melanin King, my husband, Timothy D. Woods.
Hi, everybody.
And today we decided to do something fun. We are going to play couple tag or address couple tag questions. And we found these online at the tagquestions.com. And so my beautiful spouse and I are going to jump right in and tell you a little bit more about us so you can get to know me and get to know us as a couple as we try to grow this platform, X Dr. Shiny. And so before we begin, we simply ask that you kindly subscribe to this channel, hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified of new content, and be sure to like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and share with others who may be interested in learning more about us as a couple. So Timothy, dear, are you ready, dear?
Mm.
All right. The first question, and it's about 20 questions, so we'll be asking these questions. And the first one is, when and where did we first meet?
I'll let you start out off.
Well, we actually met in Mississippi. I am a Mississippi native, and so we met in what? This had to have been what, 2015? Yes, I was finishing my no, I had finished my PhD and I was working at Alcorn State University. Shout out to Alcorn State University. And I was just sort of looking for a place to get in shape. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing well with my health and fitness and my nutrition goals. And I need an accountability partner. I need to take this out of my hands and go find somebody. So I was so bored living in Vicksburg, Mississippi, because one of the adjoining cities is like what the nearest city would be what Vicksburg, and then there's like Port Gibson, and then there's like Alcorn. Alcorn is like way out. And I was on Instagram probably like at 3 o'clock in the morning one night, like one morning, like very early, and was like, oh my gosh, I need to find a place to work out. There's nothing to do around here. It's like my hometown, rural town, Mississippi. And I saw this MMA boot camp fitness place, and I was like, "Oh, this is what's up!" Because I definitely need to do a boot camp, and this will help me get in shape. And so, I contacted the people who were on the website and on that particular Instagram. I followed my husband at Good Soldier MMA, martial artist, and was put in touch with Timothy, but I couldn't figure out where the location was. But anyway, to make a long story short, scheduled a class, my first consultation, and hey, I met this thing right here.
And the rest is history,
The
right?
rest is history. And had the initial consultation, and we can go into that another day, but that's kind of how we met. So in Vicksburg, I was working at Alcorn State University as a professor, 2015, and scheduled a consultation. And I really thought he was cute. And do you agree with that, babe?
Yeah. It's like I think she was, and my wife she's a bit of a stickler when it comes to being on time. So she's always on time. She really is. And so this particular time, I guess it's the first I think first time ever. Since we've been together, have been like that she was like 5 minutes late or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And another class that started, I said, well, doing the martial arts, like in the martial art business, like some people make their appointments, they can set up a consultation, but they may not show up. So I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm like, well, she's not here, probably not. So I went back, focused my attention on teaching the class, and then I'm like, I seen this person get out of a car, and she's like running in. I'm like, oh, dog, uh-oh.
Look at you.
I'm like,
The
uh-oh,
the
uh-oh.
flesh.
No, and I am I have a strict policy, like I don't date my students. That's just not how that works. And it's like instantly, it's like my spirit, like it's kind of corny, but look back at it, I know that was God telling me that's who's here for you. That's the one. And from there, and I didn't know she was involved with anybody or anything. You know, it just and we just hit it off, and everything else just flowed from there. and
Yeah.
she did really good. And
Yeah, Tim tried to throw me in the class like, with the professional martial arts fighters and just you
good,
know.
to my defense, good help is hard to find. Because the one particular guy was teaching and instructing the class, the boot camp class, I had him teaching the class, and I wanted him to like, okay, well, she's a new client. Okay, well, show her a little bit extra attention. And I was going to go because I had to teach the class. So I had one of my instructors work with her personally, not throwing her in the mix. And I saw him the way he was doing. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll tell you what, buddy. You teach the class, and I'll take care of her personally. And that from there, she got through the workout, and she did great. And
Lord,
from there,
Jesus was with me on that day,
you
baby.
did great.
Because,
You did great.
but yeah, that's essentially how we met.
Yeah.
I set up a consultation. It wasn't like I went in with any intention to.
Mhm.
I was trying to really get my health together and really trying to make sure I was accountable to Shani. And I was like, by any means necessary, I need to get this weight off of me. I need to, how you pick up weight. I was coming on my PhD program and dealing with stress and stuff and life happens. I talk about that in the She devotional. It's hard to find a balance, but I'm grateful that God allowed us to meet and we really just kind of Tim was very professional. He wasn't trying to cross boundaries or anything,
No,
but
no, no.
it just was like a natural connection for us. And actually on that day when I was signing up, I felt like I really felt his spirit. And I was just like, wow, I don't know if what this is, but his spirit like was like I could feel it. Like I could feel that connection. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but we need to be friends. It needs to be something. I don't know anybody around this community, but he's gonna be my friend. And I don't know, we just might be good friends, but I just like him. And I think he felt the same.
Yeah.
Okay, babe. So when was our first date?
What would you consider lunch the date
I
or
would
the
consider
movie?
that lunch that kind of day, that entire
Okay.
day.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Hmm.
Because we went to lunch first and then we got back together and went to a movie.
Right.
And I guess you want to start that off? Or
No,
you
you
want...
can go ahead.
Okay, so she was struggling like finding the food list. And that's understandable because like I'm a professional martial artist, so I've been doing it for a while. You know. So she contacted me and asked, and we've been I think communicating a little bit before then because
Hmm.
I think she had to go out of town for about a week or so. Kind of missed her too, but she came back. So quiet as kept. Okay, so I think we talked about your food list or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I had to go home to my hometown, which was about 2 hours away from where I was living in near to my job at that time. And so I was like texting like, oh my gosh, I don't know about this food list, but I think we had, I can't really remember the specifics, but I'll just say along this line, when I came back to Vicksburg, I think we kind of set up a day to kind of sit down and talk about the foods because I was like really struggling because I felt some of the things I had been eating were right. I was like, oh, I'm eating this. And he was like, no carbs, too many this. And I was like, really, really kind of feeling down on myself about it. He was like, oh, it's no problem. We can sit through and talk about it. And so we went out to Newt and I met him there. I was already there, and Tim came in, and we just really had like a really organic conversation
Yeah.
about everything. He dominated the whole conversation the whole time, talking about himself. Mm. And, but no, it was really good conversation for about a couple hours, and
Yeah.
we ate a salad, and we love nukes. We love nukes and McAllisters. And after that, I think later that day we went to the movies, and we saw what was the name of that movie?
It was a Samuel Jackson movie. I know that for sure.
It's something
It's
about
like
the Kingsman,
Kingsman.
the first
Yeah, the
Kingsman.
first
They
one.
actually have a new one out now. I just saw it on
I
HBO
saw.
Max or something. You
Are they
already saw
coming
it?
out
You
with
already watched
another
it?
one?
It's
I
like
think they're
out
gonna.
now.
Wow. Oh,
Uh huh.
we're watching
It
it.
was Kingsman, and we went to Clinton, Mississippi for that. We drove in like separate cars, and we just had like a late date night. We just went to the movies, and it was almost like now I think about it, like probably old fashioned. People probably do like
I
different
know.
stuff
I
now.
know. It's kind of crazy, but
It's not like old
to
fashioned,
my
huh?
defense, but dominate the conversation though. I would say she asked a lot of questions.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, I'm
so,
a millennial. You have
so,
to ask. Listen, when you
so
have
I'm like,
experiences dating people, you have to
okay.
really start. I was like, no, this whatever this might be, we're gonna be asking some questions up front.
so,
Okay. Yes. So it was a nice dating. We our hands touched a little bit in the theater, but it was, pretty
I
much.
was holding my hand in the theater.
Timothy, I can
Oh,
say this about him was he's a person who courted me, and I can appreciate him when I look back on that. And he's a good guy. Okay, so Tim, what was your first impression of me? We kind of addressed this already.
yeah. Well, obviously, I thought you were beautiful. But the conversation, the intellect, it was just, and I don't know, it was a connection. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know if because both of us are Virgos or what it was.
Yeah, we're both Virgos.
It was just a connection that is kind of unexplainable.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and we kind of been together ever since. Like there are probably
yeah,
very few instances where we've been not in the same proximity. We're like when you see him, you pretty much gonna see me. We're always
I'm not too far from each other.
not too far from each other. We're always together,
Yeah,
and if that
even
makes sense, and it's not a I'm crowding out your space, you're crowding out my space. We just roll like that. It's just kind of been that way.
I remember
Hmm.
one time, like, even when she had, like, because I think she had, like, a speaking arrangement in Bethesda, and I
Yeah,
was going
Bethesda,
somewhere. I think I
Maryland.
was going to New Jersey to get something from a match I had coming up, and I stopped there, and,
Hmm.
we spent some time there before I headed on about my way, and she came back
Yeah,
to her job.
yeah,
So, man, we bested.
yeah, we're besties.
Yeah.
And so, my first impression of Timothy, first of all, when I saw him, I was like, the spirit is willing, but the flesh he showing up around here. And I just thought he was a beautiful. I was like, wow, he's very beautiful. He's very attractive, and you know, Jesus keep me near the cross. That's what I thought. But I thought he was very attractive. And then, I thought he was professional in the gym. I was very impressed by the ambiance of the gym. And I just was like, wow, this brother has it together. He has his own business, and he has employees here. And I actually, looking at Timothy, I thought he was young, and I was like, he's young too. He's a few years younger than I am. And I was just, I thought he was hot. That was my first impression. People always say, oh, it's attracted to his. No, he was fine, and he is fine. And then, after we talked and conversing again, this is during my initial consultation in the me signing up for the martial arts, for Good Soldier Martial Arts. And when I started to talk to him, it's just like that. His spirit just loved up. I can't explain that, but I was just like, it's a connection here, but I don't know what it is. So that was my first impression of my husband. When did who said I love you first? I think that's the next question.
I know I did. I'm a bit of a ruler. I'm a smooch type guy. I'm a big guy, 6'4", 200 pounds, but I'm a bit of a hopeless type.
I think Timothy said I
I'm,
love you first, and I really don't remember how it was.
I'm pretty sure I did.
But I think we both agree that you said I love you first.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure I was like, we say I love you all the time.
Oh,
Timothy tells me he loves me every day, and I'm beautiful every day. So we're really big on words of affirmation, and so he's really big on it. What attire? I don't know. This question's so weird. We were reading, it's like, what is this? What attire do I always wear?
well, I would say since the pandemic, I was my baby. She dresses up all the time, and I like suits, and I like pretty much I like slacks, and I like
Mm-hmm.
if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see certain things. But ever since the pandemic, it's like
Yeah,
you're housebound.
anyhow, you're in the house. So
Yeah.
me, every day, I'm like in some comfortable leggings. Let me show you the shoes I'm wearing. Thank you, Walmart. Walmart has like the cutest comfy slippers. I'm always in some type of fuzzy slipper. I love like fuzzy stuff like this, and
Yeah,
a sweatshirt and leggings, and I'm wearing that all the time. Because we're in the house and
yeah.
socially distanced, but typically when I go to work, my attire is a little different. I'm a kind of dressy, all type of person. But
And for me, it's
I'm
just
comfortable when I need to be comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just at this point, it's just jeans and like t-shirts like this.
We made
You
this,
know.
so if you're interested in purchasing this, I will put the link below. And also, this is my sister's creation, Kente Lifestyle Apparel. But yeah, that's our little shameless plug right there. But we're just comfortable, and when we need to, stun on you, we will. We will stun. Okay. Okay. What's a weird habit of each other? I don't know. I think I would say I wouldn't necessarily call it weird or something. I just think it's I don't understand it. When I'm like if I fix Tim's plate or something like that, like maybe you want he doesn't like his food to mix. Like, mashed potatoes and gravy or stuff like that. He doesn't like jam. I'm like, you don't like jam and jelly. You're not I always tell Tim he's not really from the Timothy is from Orlando. I'm from Mississippi. And I'm like, your southern is a little bit different than my southern. Jam and stuff. He's not even with it. I'm like, mm-mm. Give me some
Yeah.
strawberry jam. So his stuff, he doesn't like it to touch. I don't like my foods mixed together and this and this and then. So I think that's a little unusual, but hey, that's what he likes.
Like one big goulash.
What about Tim? Do you think I have a weird habit?
Well, I wouldn't say weird. Actually, my mother did it a lot. And I could say when you do it, it kind of reminds
It's
me.
a love language. Actually, it's let me tell you something. It's black folks love language. Oh no, it's probably a human type of love language. But go ahead.
She would, when she, not all the time, but sometimes, especially when she is zoned out doing something while she's eating, she would go,
I thought you were gonna say something different. Okay, I thought you were saying something different. But go ahead. I know what you're talking
uh-oh.
about. I thought you were gonna say I pick it. I like to. I'm a bump person. I'll get some ingrown hairs and stuff out. Like I thought that's what he was about to say. He's about to say something different
Surprise, surprise.
though. Mm-hmm.
Says forgiven. Well, sometimes when she's not, no, she doesn't do it all the time. She doesn't do it all the time. I'm flushing over here, but she would suck her teeth like when she's doing something. I'm like trying to do work over here,
Yeah,
but that's
I did not do that.
she does
I
sometimes.
probably
She
yeah.
does
I'm
sometimes.
a Southern
She's
girl.
southern
Grits,
girl.
girls raised in the South, and we do that
Yeah,
sometimes.
my mother's.
Probably not proper, but
That's the only weird. Uh,
okay. I'll work on sucking my teeth. I
no,
know
no, no,
that's
don't
not
change.
appropriate.
I mean, my mother does it.
Yeah.
So remind her.
Miss Maxine, may God bless her soul. Okay, so let's see. What I often do, I would reword that sentence. What takes place in our free time? What do we do in free time?
I'll let you go too. I know you know what I do majority of the time.
Well, Tim is like on YouTube watching martial arts videos and things of that nature. In my free time, I don't know. What do I do in my free time? Talking
Social.
about social media. I'm telling you, I'm in the shade room. I like to watch the shade room.
Yes.
See what's going on in the shade room, watching whatever favorite, show is on there. But you're just not lounging. I'm also working or doing something and trying to be creative or, things of that nature, trying to work on these businesses, YouTube and stuff like that. So, you do whatever floats your boat during your personal
I
downtime,
would
your
say,
me time.
I told my wife if she wasn't a professor, she would definitely be a good analysis.
Analysis on how you think so.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you. You too, babe. Okay. How long have we been together?
It is.
Yeah, we've been together since 2015, March
Almost
2015.
yeah.
Yep. What was our first road trip?
That's when we travel so much.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be
Go
like
everywhere.
one weekend. It's like a
Pre-pandemic.
we. Yeah, yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, what do you
Anywhere. We always going to New
travel somewhere,
Orleans,
somewhere?
Orlando,
We big
wherever.
zoo.
We just, yeah, we love the zoo. I'll
Yeah,
just change it instead of what's our first road trip because we don't know. We've gone a lot of places
all over
together,
the place.
just all the time. We're always together. How about what do we like to do? We love the zoo. Now, I was a kind of okay zoo person, but Timothy really kind of brought me along with this zoo because they're like, it's monkeys and I'm sweating and all this stuff. But it's such a romantic experience, and it's really a way for you to get a good workout in when you walk the zoo. It's a way for you to really converse and talk to your partner, to see people. So I hate that the pandemic has occurred because the zoo is just really a great experience. And our favorite zoo to go to is what?
We'll say Memphis.
The Memphis Zoo.
Memphis for
Love the
sure.
Memphis Zoo.
Alabama
Yes.
had a good one too.
Birmingham.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But
I
Memphis
like
for
the
sure.
Audubon Zoo in New Orleans.
Yeah, that was okay too.
It was okay. It was
Yeah.
kind of hot. It was real hot. Ooh, that New Orleans heat is and we like going to New Orleans. So that's very, very different. But I like the Audubon Zoo too. But I think the Memphis Zoo,
Yeah,
I just love Memphis Zoo.
Memphis is
So I
definitely
could like
number
go there
one.
every day. I love Memphis Zoo. Okay. Well, these questions are kind of repetitive. What is the first thing you noticed about me? The first thing I noticed about Tim was that he's attractive. I thought he's very attractive and a beautiful man,
Same
beautiful
thing.
black man.
Same thing. When she came out, so wow. And matter of fact, her name is. We'll get to that. We're gonna
Okay.
get to that.
What pisses you off?
Hmm. You go first. I know
Any
you got a
form of
list.
social injustice, things like that really irritates me. Looking at the context, the cultural context of our society, all these different injustices that are occurring against women and black Americans and people of color in this nation and just globally. Any type of human rights violation, that type of stuff really makes me mad. And I've kind of always been passionate about things like that ever since I was a young girl. Like I said, I'm from the Mississippi Delta, and so from the area where Emmett Till was slain. So that's having that type of consciousness and awareness about social issues and social unrest and things of that nature. It's always been something that there was just conversations in my household and among my family members. So that type of stuff really pisses me off, and I think that's some of the reason why I was drawn to social work, not because of the practice aspect, but really because of the policy and the advocacy aspect of advocating for people. So
I would say to tag onto that, I would say one thing that really pisses me off. I would think anything to do with racism. Not talking
mhm,
about just you know white or black or anything. It can be racism of all sorts. It can be race where discrimination against the Bible or against the free will to do whatever you want. We all make our own choices and we have to live with the consequences. But we have to have the ability to make and create our own thoughts. So I would say any form of racism, as far as even if it's church or masculinity or femininity, anything that deal with racism or discrimination is unacceptable, unacceptable for me. For
mhm,
me.
mhm. Okay. What am I not good at? I don't think I am the. I don't know. I mean, because I'm just great at everything. I don't know. That's kind of an unusual question. Tim, what do you think? What am I not good
I always say my baby coordination sometimes
at? I
is
was gonna say I'm
a
very
little clumsy,
clumsy.
a
I'm
little bit.
very like I'm
You
like
know,
how Beyonce is clumsy. Shout out to Beyonce. I'm part of the high. Beyonce is like clumsy. She's that's probably like a
yeah.
like Virgo. Like she's very clumsy. I'm very clumsy like that as well. I'll like fall and drop some stuff in a
I'll
minute.
just leave my head at this point like my baby.
Well, that's okay, Tim. That's okay. Uh,
Okay, so what
well,
about me?
dancing,
Oh,
baby.
I can't dance for like I'm black though, but I just can't dance.
That's okay.
I try.
Look, I'm not the
I
best dancer
try.
either, but hey,
I
what?
do. I
I
would
mean,
like to try
but
though.
you know
I
what,
would like to
Tim?
learn.
This generation, everybody's dancing all the time. They're always making the TikTok and this and this and this. I'm
Yeah.
almost 40. I just feel like I'm too. The most you're gonna get from me is about like this. That's about all I'm gonna do. I mean, where am I going?
Dancing is
Where am I just
yes.
going dancing like this anyway?
We by ourselves sometimes. Yeah, I'm all up there. She kind of got me sometimes. She does a good job, especially on our wedding day.
It's good. It's all good. That's okay. What am I good at? Well, I think Timothy, in terms of a partner, is very good at uplifting me, and he doesn't like when I say cheerleading. He's like, I ain't no cheerleader.
Started. I'm a starter.
I call him my
Team
hype
captain
man, my
around here.
hype man. He's like, no, I ain't
Right.
no hype man. He's like, I ain't no hype man to you. I'm just telling you the truth. But I would say if I were to contextualize it and put it into words, definitely words of affirmation. Like you cannot be around Timothy and not feel better about yourself. Like if you're having a bad day, he's a very good person who uplifts you. But also, what he's also good at, I married a man of God. And so, Lord, if I want to lecture on the Bible,
I got you.
him got me. But definitely, and I'm joking about that, but that is true. If I want to know something deeper about the Word of God, or if I want to say, Tim, what about this, or what's the perspective here? I can find that spiritual wisdom in my husband, and he's gonna say, "It's in this scripture right here." And so that's a blessing. That's why I said when we connect, I'm a person of faith as well. I was like that spiritual connection is the thing that like that we connected on, and I think that it's important. If you're thinking about getting married or if you are married, like you have to be spiritually yoked with a person, or that thing will not. That thing is gonna go down here really fast. The Bible talks about do not be unequally yoked with non-believers. So that is kind of our view on faith and spirituality. But I would just say lifting up people, being an encourager, being a motivator, and definitely sharing the word of God. But my husband is very intelligent as well. He is a um, very intelligent man and can figure things out. Looking at something, he's gonna pick it up really, really, really great. And he's very self-driven and self-motivated, and he doesn't like to fail at anything. So he's a person that's like he's like a long hauler. Like some people are like, "Ooh, I'm trying to run this marathon, baby. I'm about to quit at mile one." Timothy is like, I see that 26 point whatever point one or that 13 point whatever. He's going to go. He's a long haul person. Like he has the stamina and the resilience to go the long haul in life. So that's a blessing.
Well, I'd say with my wife, I think obviously she's highly intelligent. But I say one of your best traits, she can pick, I mean, she can see the best in a person, and she's like really organized, you know? Oh yeah, you are. So she's not about the procrastination. She's not about like she has an A type personality that she can see like the potential in an individual. Like, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do this? And I look at her like, baby, I mean, you're giving her good advice. I'm giving him good advice, but they're not.
I'm
Yeah,
telling the waitresses, flee this
yeah,
place, flee,
yes.
flee this restaurant, go and start a business, flee, get out of this, escape, run.
Oh, or someone come with a business idea, or come with an idea like I want to do this, and I don't know how. And she's like, oh, what? You can do this, and this is the way you do this. You better off doing it this way. And she would lay out a whole entire like plan for them, and they're just doing small talk, just lying to you, really, not really motive. But I'm just saying this seriously. They like a lot of as individuals, we talk about a lot of things that we want to do in life, but we don't get past that idea in our head. We don't put things into play. And she's a person like, okay, let's put it into play. Let's move. Let's move. Let's stop talking about it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
do it
I'll give you a blueprint real quick. And
quickly.
I don't know, this is something I've always been like, when I talk to people, a lot of times I'm listening to them, but I'm like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do, you need to.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm in my when I go to my hairstylist Jasmine, she talks a lot of times. She speaks about this thing, and she's just talking. I'm like, girl, that's a book right there. This is
Yes.
here are your
Yes.
chapters outlined 1, 2, 3, or this is a plan, and I don't mind sharing
Mhm.
stuff like that with people
No.
because I feel like
No.
people have always shared information with me when I've asked, or it's just this is something I've always done. Like
That's an
I'll
amazing trait.
tell
That's an
you,
amazing
that's
trait.
your
But a
blueprint.
lot of people just keep talking. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's not too harsh. It's just,
We're Virgo.
yeah, we're
Virgo.
like,
We're like,
yeah. So,
we're not gonna get
but
around with it.
she has like a caring personality, and she will motivate anyone. If you have any kind of potential, she even see potential in you, and you don't see it yourself, and she'll motivate you to go do your thing. I said that's one of the most amazing things I'd say one trait that my wife has. Like she will pick out something in you and give you a blueprint to be successful, or to motivate you to do what you need to do. And she's just a loving person. I think that's a God trait. And she has a huge heart, a big heart. I
Thank you,
mean,
baby. You did too.
yes, and I think that's what we do, and that's one of the things we connect with each other because even though we may be doing something or doing whatever, we'll drop what we're doing to go help and assist someone in
Yeah.
need. So
Yeah.
that's just something that I find super attractive and amazing about my wife.
Come on now, Tim. We have a funny sense of humor. Tim is always making me laugh, and we make each other laugh all the time. But yeah, thank you, babe. That's a blessing. But and that's another thing I wanted to share too. Tim, what is he good at? And I mean we're kind of going, but Tim has a very, very big heart. I call him Big Love. I just told him because I said the ways in which you show love to me, they really cannot be defined in words. So I just say big love, my big love. So when you say, this is big love, that's what that means. Like the way he loves is very, very big. He has a very big heart. And when you find a person like that who is really giving, like giving and, without question like, yeah, I'm here for you. I'm going to support you and whatever. That's a true blessing. A lot of times we think about relationships and, people say, oh, my husband, I do this. We can both roll down a list of things that irritate us about each other. Okay. Anybody can do that. Yeah. But you really have to be intentional about seeing the best qualities in your spouse because it's the long game we're playing, it's team game because at the end of the day, when you're in your final stages of life, all those little arguments, that little petty stuff, he irritated me or she irritated me or she didn't do this the right way, she didn't cook my meal, or he didn't do some pick up behind us. That stuff doesn't matter when you are in your final stages of life or when you're going through a struggle. It's really about showing up for each other and being there for one another. So that's I think what we share in common. We love people. We have big hearts. We're gonna motivate the hell out of you.
Definitely,
We
definitely.
will.
And give you all the information that you need.
And what? Right. Okay. And we don't take crap.
Okay,
We not. We don't play. We both have like similar personalities. Don't bring it. Don't bring it. Don't bring it.
Like we're going on about it. I just think it's the time thing. You can't get the time back.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. Just say it like that. You can't.
We can't get your time back. So the time like wasting on like foolishness and we just don't have time for it.
But if you want help,
got you. Got you. Okay. Favorite feature about each other. What is your favorite feature about me? Is this a physical feature? I'm assuming so.
Are we talking about physical, right?
I was just assuming that's what that means, physical feature.
Yeah, well, I would say, I just can't pick one. I would have to pick two. I would say your beautiful smile in your eyes.
Thank you.
Your eyes and your beautiful smile.
Thank you. Well, for me, it's Tim ASS. His booty.
What in the world?
Ain't no shame in my game. Thank you.
What in the world?
Like he gets so embarrassed. He's not like me to say that at all. He's like, leave my butt alone.
Oh, booty dang.
He's not like me, but hey, you're an athlete. Well, I'm not gonna say what you told me not to say. I'm not gonna go rogue. I'm not gonna go rogue. Let's stay focused, okay? All right. What do we argue about the most? I think we kind of went over this question earlier, and I think it's just sometimes just in natural relationships, miscommunications, misunderstanding. In marriage, you are going to have disagreements. Some of those could be small disagreements. Some of those could be larger disagreements. And what I think for me, when I have a disagreement with my husband, I have found that it is kind of better for us to try to reconcile that, to figure out what's the core of it. And it's kind of more so kind of what I do in social work. We try to strip away like all of the leaves right on the tree. What's the root issue? What are we really talking about here? And so I think a lot of times miscommunications can occur in marriages and in relationships, and those may be some things that you disagree about.
I would say my wife, she's like she can analyze the problem way better than I can from a social work perspective.
No, baby, you're good at breaking stuff down too.
Yeah, I would say that. Okay, well, we talk about stuff, but I'd say it's a lack of communication. Well, not a lack of communication, misunderstanding communication. I would say because I would say something like, "That's not what I meant," but this is how you said it. I'm like, but you know what? Yeah, that is right. I didn't mean to say it that way, but I meant to say it this way.
I think we're both like that. You know what I mean? Well, I didn't mean to say it that way. My intentions are pure or good or not to be hurtful and harmful. And sometimes, just in marriages, and let me just go social work here. We all come from different backgrounds, right? Everybody has a different home environment. And when you get married, you're bringing what you learned from mama, grandma, the community, whoever, or what you did not learn into that marriage. And so you may communicate one way. She may communicate a different way. He may communicate one way. She may so so you're bringing and combining all of those experiences into a marriage, and sometimes it works well, and sometimes there are areas where couples can grow.
Yeah.
So in any marriage, when people say, "Oh, we just never disagree," I'm like, "Y'all just lying flat out. Just need to stop lying. Stop. Tell the truth."
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get into arguments. You're not gonna always agree. But at the end of the day, and I heard Joel Osteen say this, you have to decide: do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Okay.
Yeah.
And some stuff I have to let go and have learned to let go. And some stuff I know my husband has to let go and has learned to let go. And we are both still learning to just move on, because at the end of the day, I love him. This is my thing, yeah. Okay. And he loves me, and we know that. And it's just what it is. And it's just, how relationships work. You have to decide, do you want to be right or do you want to be married? And there can be some things that, and then also, what do you think about just dealing with the boundaries, like having like boundaries, like, we know this is like a deal breaker. This is a no go for both of us. And if someone crosses a line, or if a person feels disrespected or mistreated, we have to get to a point where we can say, well, that's not my intention, because I trust you with my heart and you trust me with your heart. And that's one of the things that really attracted me to my husband. As a woman speaking, I felt I could trust him with my heart. And that's a big thing. And I would, pray for my nieces and my nephew, and for Tim should, you know, find someone who you can trust with your heart, because your heart is a fragile thing. And so when you find a partner who you can trust with your heart, then you know that the intentions are pure, and it's really about, yeah, we disagree, but it's still, the love is still there.
So easily get broken, but it's hard to
Yeah, easily broken, but hard to be repaired.
be
hmm do I have any weird obsessions? Or maybe this is what I thought you were asking me earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife, she loves to bust pimples in your face.
Well, and it's in my defense, as an acne sufferer for many years, for a person who has had acne, that's what you do. You are kind of like fixate on, like, oh, I see this or blemish or something like that. I'm not as bad as I used to be, like with my own face. But, and then I realized there's a whole group of people out there called pimple poppers. Like, what?
Yes,
This is us. This is my tribe. This is my people. So I love Dr. Pimple Popper. I can diagnose everything, right? But and so Timothy causes weird, but he just has a weak stomach. He can't take anything. His
so my
stomach,
wife thinks I am sweet.
he's very squeamish, but it's so funny because I watch Tobro, Dr. Sandra Lee, Dr. Pimple Popper. What's the other one? My Feet Are Killing Me. I watch Operation, and I just grew up watching those shows like Operation. All those shows just come on TLC. And Tim is like, he like gets so nauseous when those shows come on. So I just like, hey, I'm just like the rest of the million people on YouTube who like watching this type of stuff. Timothy's weird obsessions. I wouldn't really say anything. I can't think of anything that I would define as, like, I don't like that term weird or off, a little bit. I just wouldn't, I can't, right now, like, literally nothing comes to my mind. Because I definitely know he's too squeamish to like anything. It's gonna be, so he's too squeamish to like anything like that. Nicknames for each other.
Okay, I'll start that off. I was going to give it away in the previous questions, but I call her nickname is beautiful. I call her 24/7. I mean, that's how I feel, and I tell my wife all the time that she's beautiful. Even when she don't feel like she's beautiful, I'm like, what in the world? You're gorgeous. So that's her name. It could be lame at some time, but I said we wouldn't call you a scrumpet. But she's so beautiful inside and out. I love her.
Thank you, baby. You are too. My several nicknames are, well, she does like call him Timmy. Timmy. His daddy calls him Timmy. He's like, I don't like, don't call me no Timmy. Timmy, y'all say Timmy. Sexy bums, because he's sexy and he has those bums. What else? I don't know, baby. Stuff like that. Little names, whatever. And the number 20 is complete this sentence. You're my queen. Okay, thank you, baby. you're my king, but we are also best friends.
Yeah, we're
And
best friends
so
for sure.
I would definitely describe Timothy as friend. And yeah. So here those are our 20 questions, couple tag questions, and I hope you have learned a little bit more about us. You know, as a couple, we were married on July 8th, 2017 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We had a beautiful wedding. And it was really a great experience. Timothy was like, let's get married, let's get married. I was like, okay. You know, you really wanted to get married. And I'm glad that, I mean, I wanted to get married too, but he was like pressure. I was like, well, okay. And ladies, so that guy's like, when you get married, you better, especially if it's a good guy, do what you need to do. But I was like, okay, you know, I knew we'd probably get married eventually. But and so why was that? Why did you feel that you really wanted to get married?
One just thing,
To me,
honestly,
specific.
truthfully,
Hmm.
truthfully, like we're both people of faith, and it doesn't take at at a certain age. It doesn't take 2, 3 years. Sorry, fellas, don't get mad at me, but it doesn't take that long to know if you want to be with someone for the rest of your life. If you're with someone and it's going on 2, 4, 5 years, and I
Who's
can't
trash?
speak from a woman's perspective. I'm just talking about guys. I'm
Hmm.
talking about a guy's perspective, and I am extremely masculine, even though that even though sometimes that I may be I'm a loving, sweet person. I'm a extremely masculine person, but I'm just saying, if a man doesn't propose in 2, 3 years and he's still stringing you along, ladies, sorry guys, don't kill me, but it didn't take that long for me to know that I wanted to marry her everywhere for the rest of my life. So she said yes, and here we are doing videos.
Still, that's what's going on. And you know, and he did, and I mean, I appreciate that. And you know, because when you think about, you know, we both had different relationships and stuff, and not to we always just say, we just wish I had met you
Yeah,
sooner, you
yeah.
know. But God does everything in perfect timing and in His perfect
I
season.
think we had to grow.
Yeah,
So
we had to
we had to grow
grow
together.
to meet each other,
Yeah,
and you know, it's a blessing, and marriage is a blessing. And for those individuals who are dating, you know, just get someone where y'all are friends as well.
yeah,
Someone who loves you, who's gonna show up for you, and y'all can show up and support each other. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing, like you're always there for him or you're always there for her and they can't reciprocate. That's not equity and parity. And you know, that's just important in a relationship. And get somebody I agree with who wants to, you know, who recognizes that you are a good thing, ladies, that you are a queen and that who will treat you as such and who, you know, is like, you know, ready to be committed to you and to you only, you know. Period. You know, and likewise, you know, recognize that, you know, when you're in the presence of a great guy or a great king and treat him as such and treat her as such. And it doesn't mean that two great people are perfect people,
no,
but in
no,
marriages and in relationship, you kind of learn and you grow and you find out about this person and you find out about me, my likes, my dislikes, and how can we all make it work in the marriage and have fun and you
yeah,
know enjoy each other and create memories, you know. So I think that's what it for me. I think that's what it's all about. What do you think, babe?
yeah. Marriage is going to be a journey.
Mhm.
It's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. It's going to be times where, you guys going to be irritated with each other, but at the end of the day, you signed up for it. It's a team thing, you
Yeah,
know.
you signed up for
Yes, yes. And I mean, I don't mean it. And if I think anyone, I'm sorry.
no, I didn't laugh
I'm
at you.
just
You said you signed up
I'm
for it.
saying we're married, so you're gonna have to get to learn each other. It's gonna take
Mhm.
time. It's impossible for you to learn all the good things, the bad things with
Mhm.
someone in a short period of time. It's
Mhm.
gonna be a marathon. It's gonna be a journey that you guys gonna have to do together.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a little time, and the beauty about it is at the end of the day you know each other and you
Right.
know each other's traits.
Mhm.
So when you eventually get to the promised land that this team is you're headed for, you guys can celebrate each other at the beginning and even at the end stage. And
Mhm.
that's I think that's the biggest thing when you're finding a life partner.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
not just
Yeah.
somebody in and out.
Mhm. Yeah, and what do you think? Because our faith and spirituality, our faith and belief in Jesus Christ is very important to us, and I think that has to be the bedrock for Christian couples. Now,
Yeah.
everybody watches this video, you may not be a Christian, it may not be
Mhm.
how you identify, but we do, and we have to straying away from that.
Yeah.
But that has to be for us. Is the bedrock of our um marriage, because I know if I'm having a bad day, if I'm experiencing a struggle, I'm experiencing frustration, I can definitely pray about that and talk to God about it. But just as human beings, some days you just don't feel encouraged. All days you don't feel positive. And some days you need somebody to uplift you to speak a word in your life. So, Tim, can you talk about that? Like why faith is so important in a marriage?
Well, like anything, so it's accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You like the Holy Spirit will convict you when you're doing something. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this be real. If you're straight on mistreating your wife or mistreating your husband, there's no way that the Holy Spirit living inside you is not going to tell you, that's wrong, right? That
Mm-hmm.
you need to go apologize. You need to,
Mm-hmm.
reconcile with your wife. You need to get that together. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and I think that's the part. And even your pride may get in the way, like, not now. I'll go in a minute, but you won't be able to rest. I'm just speaking from my experience.
Right.
Like, okay, well, let me go reconcile. Let me go apologize to my wife, and say that I'm sorry, even if I feel like I'm right. Sometimes, like, you want to be, what do
You
you
ain't
want?
right, Tim.
When you want to be
And the
married,
Holy
what do you
Spirit
say?
said
What do you
so.
say? What do
Do
you just say? You want to
you
be
want to be
right,
right
or
or
you
do you
want to
want
be
to be
married?
married?
So I just think having that person to answer to, that God to answer to,
Mm-hmm.
keep things in perspective.
Yes, 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 yes. I think that is very true when you understand that, your spouse is not somebody that you should take for granted.
No.
Okay. This person who God has given you is a gift from the Lord. And God has gifted us these relationships or this partner. It's not for it's not for you to abuse or to mistreat or to, defame or to humiliate. That's not what should be taking place in your marriage. You're gonna have disagreements and stuff, but it's about honoring each other and having a level of self-respect, but also having that, I think, that reverence for God, so much so that like what the Bible says, like, you need to honor your partner and treat them like, because God holds you accountable for what you're doing. So if you're out there mistreating
That
your
wrath.
wife, you don't invite wrath into your household,
Don't want
and
that smoke.
you don't want that smoke from Jesus.
Mhm.
You don't want Jesus to smoke.
Mhm.
Leave him, leave God. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes.
Be
Man,
humble with the
it's
Lord.
hard.
You don't want that wrath coming into your family, and God really, dealing with you like he deals with us sometimes when he has to chastise us. So for us, that's really important. And, also just being faithful, like when it comes to tithing. And also for us, being partnered under a ministry, a covenant ministry. So we are members of Mount Zion Baptist Church in Nashville, and Bishop Joseph W. Walker is our pastor. And like it's like when we joined we joined Mount Zion, we'll be going like every Sunday. He was like hitting it. We were like, Tom, we just feel like the connection at this church, because every sermon was speaking to us, and we just really felt that connection with Mount Zion, and still do. And transitional phase, having recently got married, moved here to, Middle Tennessee, and, just really searching. So it's important, if you're a person, a couple of faith, definitely to find you a spiritual home where you can hear the word of God, and then be under an influence of leaders, who really have a given sound advice, like biblical stuff. Like everybody may not get to do that. But you need to hear. You can pick up. Discern. Got to discern the spirits, and sometimes we join the Zoom when we join where they talk about couples ministry and things of that nature. And so that's important. Um, where do we see ourselves growing as a couple, babe?
Well, the sky's the limit. As long as we keep going ahead of our household,
Mm-hmm.
like
Nothing is impossible
nothing is
to
impossible.
those who believe.
And then
Hey,
again, God said, "Test me. If you ask me, test me, try me, follow me."
try me,
Yes,
Malachi.
yes. Earlier. So, but God, as long as you keep God as the head of your household, and you're faithful in your tithing and your commitment to the Lord, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever direction that God is leading you, being obedient to the Holy Spirit, God as He guides you through your life,
Mm-hmm.
God's the limit for everyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one for everyone. And then with God, you can overcome anything. And I remember when we were getting ready to get married, and Reverend Vernon Swift of Elizabeth Baptist Church in Tuscaloosa married us.
Yeah.
And we did, we went to marriage counseling, and Reverend Swift was like, he was very like straightforward. We did marriage counseling. I think you should do premarital counseling.
Yes.
He said to us, like, you know, the wedding is one thing, but the real work begins like the day after, you know, you get married. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, you know, you can have these grandiose weddings, and I think you should celebrate yourself and honor and celebrate that moment, and definitely take pictures, have fun, and all that.
Yeah.
But understand that in marriage, the real work begins. Like, it's not at the wedding. It's not about that wedding. Once you get in that marriage, and for me, when we got married, I actually felt different.
Yeah, it was different.
That was like a whole different feeling.
Like commitment
It
level
was
was
like
different.
very different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, marriage feels very different. Like the day when we took that covenant, I just felt like different in my spirit and in my body. Like when I got married to you, it was like that's what I felt.
Well,
Well, that's our little conversation questions, couple questions with Timothy and Shani, and we just kind of added some more additional things about our faith and how we view the world and God, all that into here. But thank you for tuning into this video. We hope that you have enjoyed it, and we will definitely come back with some more couple questions, fun things. We love to talk about faith and spirituality, and of course, on this X Dr. Shani channel, we talk about self-care, healthy boundaries in relationships, faith and spirituality, and success. And so here we've covered some of those topics. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about self-care next time, couple self-care, things of that nature.
sure.
But thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, give this video a big thumbs up, share it with someone, turn that notifications bell on, but also follow us on all social media platforms. I can be found on Twitter and YouTube at Ask Dr. Shani. And check out Tim's Instagram at Good Soldier MMA, as well as Timothy D. Woods. Until the next time, thank you for tuning in. Be blessed and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.